Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is GutterBratz and as you can see, I'm not in my usual filming location. I'm in the kitchen. So if there is a bit of an echo to this video, that is why. The kitchen is a bigger room and it's not as filled as my bedroom, so there might be a bit of an echo to this video. I apologise if there is. I will try and edit it out as much as I possibly can, but if there's an echo, there is not much I can do about that. Anyways, we are in a different location today because I'm gonna carve this pumpkin. I'm also gonna do a little bit of a Halloween tag with this video because I thought it would be fun to get into the spooky spirit and create some Halloween content for you. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please don't forget to hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. But this is the first video I'm doing for Halloween, and it's the first video I've ever made for Halloween. But we are gonna carve this pumpkin, and I am also going to answer some Halloween spooky questions that I kind of put together so that I had something to talk about. As you can see, I have dressed in the spooky spirit. I have dressed up as a sort of glam Beetlejuice kind of thing. I do have green, can you see them? I have green like circle contact lenses in because they're cool. I have a feeling I'm gonna get pumpkin all over this, but it's fine, we make moves. I have all my tools here, which is just a bunch of knives and spoons and a bowl and a plate. I have this, obviously. I'm gonna stay hydrated, and I have my phone with a list of questions. But, where do I put my crow? I'll move my pumpkin, and we'll put the crow. We'll have the crow here. My mum made a point that she really wanted the crow to be in the video, so the crow is going to be in the video. This is my pumpkin. I picked it up yesterday, and it's just a little one because I didn't want this video to be too long or too much of me just like scooping out the insides of a pumpkin. Roll my sleeves up because I feel like this is going to get really messy, and I have to clean up everything after this, and I have to clean up before anyone gets home. I have a bowl so that I can put the insides of the pumpkin inside the bowl. I have an array of different knives because I didn't know which type of knife I was going to need to cut into this pumpkin. And I also have a spoon to scoop out the insides of this pumpkin. Let's get started. Do I use this one? I haven't carved a pumpkin in such a long time that I can't actually remember what you're supposed to do. I know I need to take the top off first, and I don't know how much of the top to take off because I don't know. Oh, okay, we've made our first incision. I don't know how dense the skin of the pumpkin is going to be. I have planned everything else for this video, but I didn't actually plan what I wanted to put on the front of this pumpkin, or like what. Oh, that's already, it's already uneven. I'm not having a good time. I have a couple of other Halloween videos planned, so this won't be the only Halloween content that you're seeing from me. I never made any Halloween content last year. Oh, it already stinks of pumpkin. So I never made any Halloween content last year, but I decided this year was gonna be my year because I love Halloween and I feel like I need to make some Halloween content. Lovely. Oh, it stinks. Pumpkin just doesn't have a good smell. I love pumpkin spice. I am a pumpkin spice bitch. This just doesn't smell good. I have no idea if we can even use this pumpkin stuff for anything. Can you bake this into stuff? Oh, we have my lid. I'll try and get rid of as much of this as I can. When I start scooping, I'll start getting some questions up because I feel like if I don't start answering questions, this video is just going to be me cutting away at a pumpkin. That was loud. I have the top part of my pumpkin. Whether or not that sits in after I scoop it is another question, and it's something I will deal with later. But let's begin peeling the insides out of this defenseless little pumpkin. I'm gonna have a drink actually. That can is going to be so covered in pumpkin by the end of this video. So the first question that I have for my Halloween tag is my favourite horror or Halloween themed song. I would probably, that's actually a difficult question. I think in terms of my favourite, it would probably be the soundtrack for the sort of Tim Burton horror movies. They always have really good soundtracks, and This Is Halloween is an iconic Halloween song that everybody loves. So I'm gonna pick that as my favourite Halloween or horror, oh this smells so bad, horror themed song. I haven't actually watched any Halloween-y, have I? Have I watched any Halloween movies this year? I don't think I have. I did watch, what's it called? I watched The Devil in Ohio recently and I really enjoyed that. I would recommend watching Devil in Ohio if you haven't already seen it. I really enjoyed that. And I feel like that would count as a sort of horror Halloween-y type series. I really enjoyed it and I thought it was really good. There's also something I watched recently and I can't remember what it's called. I'm currently watching The Midnight Club on Netflix, which I suppose is kind of Halloween-y as well. Kind of spooky. To answer the question that I initially, oh no. That's in my Fitbit. This is gonna be so messy! Oh, my hands are already sticky and like gross feeling. The feeling of an inside of a pumpkin just isn't pleasant. But yeah, to answer the question, it would be the soundtrack to Tim Burton horror movies because they are just really good Halloween movies to get you in the Halloween spirit. The next question I have is name something you wouldn't want to run into in a dark forest or an abandoned house. Honestly, you wouldn't really want to run into anything. If you were in an abandoned house or an abandoned building or in a dark forest, like anything that you run into is going to be terrifying. Name something you wouldn't want to run into. Anything. It would be anything. Anything would be the answer. Because no matter what it is, it's gonna make you shit yourself. Even if it was like a bird. If you're in an abandoned building and a bird's fleeing about, you're going to think it's something else because your mind's going to play tricks on you, make you think that it's something supernatural or something haunted, and it's just not going to be a good time. So if you were exploring an abandoned forest, not an abandoned forest, if you were exploring an abandoned building or a dark forest at night, literally anything's going to freak you out because your mind plays tricks on you in situations like that. We've all watched too many horror movies and we've all seen too many horror videos to not think about the worst possible outcome in like that sort of situation. So nothing's going to be enjoyable. Nothing, you wouldn't want to run into anything. Even a small rodent running around is going to make you freak out. Oh, it's stuck to my hands. You know what, this didn't take quite as long to empty out as I thought it would. There's still loads of seeds in here. Oh, there, it's on my shirt. I knew I was going to get pumpkin on this shirt. It just feels horrible. I love that for me. My hands are absolutely coated in pumpkin. I want to clean it out as much as I can. Did I even get a candle? I haven't even picked up a candle for this video. And when my video ends, I'm going to have to click the button on my camera to get it to record again. Oh, this is going to be a fun video. What do you think of my makeup? Let me know in the comments. I was wanting to go for more of a white face and do some more green splodges all over, but when I tried to use the white face paint that I have, it would not sit on my skin, so I was like, right, we'll just use my normal foundation and do a more glam Beetlejuice kind of look. I don't know if I made the hole top big enough for me to actually fit my hand in this. I'm gonna have to clean this pumpkin as well. Ugh, I don't It's just minging. I can't see how anything with pumpkin in it tastes good. Like, I love pumpkin spice. Never tried pumpkin pie or anything like that to actually know what it tastes like, but based off of what pumpkin smells like, I just don't think it's something that I would enjoy eating. Can you put it in soup? I'm not going to use this for soup. I'll maybe put it outside and give it to like birds or small animals or something because I don't think anyone in my household is going to eat this pumpkin. So we'll give it to some insects. Not insects, we'll give it to some small mammals. Okay, next question. Who's your favourite horror monster or villain? Does the Xenomorph count? You know, from the Alien movies? Does that count? If that counts, then I'll go for that. But then the Babadook. The Babadook is an icon. Oh, I know who I would choose. I know. Have any of you watched The Dark Crystal? Or there was a reboot of it on Netflix maybe about 2 years ago or something now. They did like a Dark Crystal reboot. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called. But it was not really a reboot. It was just a series based on, I think, what happened before The Dark Crystal. I think it was a prequel to The Dark Crystal, but I can't actually remember. I watched it so long ago. But the Skeksis. As a child, when I watched The Dark Crystal, I used to hate the Skeksis. I thought they were the most terrifying things. The Skeksis. If you don't know what I'm on about, I'll put a picture up on screen so you can see it or see what Skeksis look like, but they're horrifying things and they're just puppets. Like, they make those puppets so scary, and my parents must have thought it was like a kids movie because it's got puppets, it's going to be a kids movie, what else would it be? And I just remember watching it as a child and being absolutely terrified of the Skeksis. They made like weird squeaky noises like that. Yeah, they made really creepy, weird noises. I didn't like them. That's the answer I'm gonna go for. That's my favourite. I say favourite just because they were actually terrifying, but that's my favourite horror movie or villain, but I suppose they're sort of more villainous than they are horror. Oh, it's Be Real time. I'll do my Be Real after I've cut open this pumpkin because I'm not picking up my phone when my hands are like this. I love Be Real. That was my answer. The Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. If you've seen the Dark Crystal, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the Skeksis because they absolutely terrified me, and I'd like to know if it was just me, if I'm just a baby that's frightened of puppets, or if other people are actually frightened of the Skeksis. Oh no, my crow. I hit him in the nose. How am I still emptying out this pumpkin? I swear every time it's kind of moving slightly over that way. There's not much left in it actually. I'll show you. It's looking pretty hollowed out. There's a wee bit left. I don't want it to go in my nails, that's the only thing. Oh, it smells of pumpkin. I'm just trying to get as much out as I possibly can just so the walls of the pumpkin aren't like really thick and I can't get a knife into it. I feel like if I carve too much of this bit, my wee hat's not going to fit on. It's not a hat. The lid of the pumpkin. I did see when I was coming up with the idea for this YouTube video, I saw a sort of tutorial on how to carve a pumpkin. I probably could have done it this way to see how it works out, but they basically cut open the pumpkin from the bottom so that when you're done you don't have a lid that'll rot and sit on the top, and you just put the pumpkin over your candle so that the light shines through it. I thought that was quite a clever way of carving a pumpkin. One of the pumpkins I made when I say I was in high school, I was maybe around the age of 13 or 14 when I was obsessed with Spider-Man. Still am, but I don't wear my spider suit anymore. But one of the pumpkins I carved when I was younger was a Spider-Man pumpkin. If I can find a picture of this pumpkin, I will put it on screen so you can see it. I definitely shared it to my Facebook back then, so I know there's a picture exists somewhere on the internet. I was really proud of my Spider-Man pumpkin. I thought it was really cool. I think we're getting close to the end. Carving. I think I'm done. I need to give it a wash, but that looks pretty good, right? Taken out most of the insides of this pumpkin. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, put this away and clean up my workspace a little bit, and then I will be back to carve it. I still need to think about what I'm gonna carve into this pumpkin. I haven't decided what I'm gonna carve into it, but I will be back in instantly because it's YouTube. You won't see what I go and do behind the scenes, but I will be back in a second. I am back with a clean pumpkin. I actually think I might have carved too much out of the top and this may not, oh no. It does still stay on, that's good. I tried when I was like doing that thing to do it inwards so that it would still sit, and that's good, it still sits. Now I need to decide what I'm gonna do on this pumpkin. Do I just wing it? I think I'll maybe do it on this side. There is a wee bit of like marking on this pumpkin, but I don't think it really matters that much, does it? Do I draw a face? I'm gonna draw a face. Just before I draw the face, I'm gonna do my Be Real because Be Real time happened and I haven't done my Be Real. I'll be a couple of minutes late. I'll pose with the pumpkin. And then sit up. Okay, I posted my Be Real. Can you see it? I posted my Be Real. Okay, so next step, readjust myself. I'm wearing joggers underneath this, like I'm all fancy at the top, but I'm wearing joggers. So it's like, I want to be comfortable when I'm carving a pumpkin. Let's go for some triangle eyes. I need to leave enough space for me to do a mouth. Let me draw this on and then I'll speak. I should have got one of those stencils, because then it actually might have looked how I want it to. It looks a bit dopey, but that's okay. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to carve this, but that is something I can deal with when the time comes. Oh, I kind of want to do a triangle nose instead. I'm kind of going with a standard looking pumpkin, but that's okay. I'll draw this, and then once I've drawn, I will start answering the other questions that I have. Oh, you know what? It's actually looking quite cute. Can you see that? I think it'll be quite good. We'll see. It depends whether or not I can carve this. I think it might end up being quite spooky. What is the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you while you were alone? I live in the countryside. I live in a very isolated area, so I'm alone quite a lot, like currently I'm alone. And anything that kind of happens when you're alone and you live in the countryside is creepy. I live in an old house. I live near an abandoned farm. And I also live next to quite a big dark forest. There's quite a lot of times where things have felt quite creepy because you'll hear noises, and I hear noises at night. That's scary in itself. I hate looking out my window at nighttime in case I see something, and I know, like, logically, I'm very unlikely to see anything, but I'm always terrified that there's going to be like a person standing there or something there outside my window in the garden looking back up at me. So I hate looking out the window at nighttime just because of that fear that something's gonna happen. So I think that like the creepiest thing is living where I do. It is just creepy, like at nighttime. It's scary. There's been so many different things have happened while I've been alone. Just hearing noises. And I live next to like where there's gonna be animals, but hearing any sort of noise when you're by yourself is creepy. I can't think of one explicit time where I felt particularly like creeped out being by myself, but just whenever I'm alone, you do feel alone, and you like your brain. I should have kept that. 1 minute. Your brain kind of plays with your mind and makes you think you hear things that aren't even there. Living where I do is quite a creepy experience. I wonder if anybody will reply to my Be Real. You know, this little knife is perfect for this. I thought I was gonna have to use like bigger knife, but this wee one is doing the trick. It's not even very sharp. I'm probably making it more blunt by carving this pumpkin, but I don't think it's a knife that's used very much in the house, so I don't think it matters too much. I forgot how difficult this was. How do children carve pumpkins? Oh, pop it right there. There we go. There. That's way better. There's still pen on it. I don't know if I'll be able to get the pen off, but I don't really care. It's not that much pen. It's fine. There's not that much pen. I probably could take a wee bit off of here. If you were dared to spend a night in a haunted house, would you do it? Honestly, yeah. I think it would be a really fun experience to go to a haunted house. I don't think I would want to do it by myself. I think I'd like to have someone there, but someone that I trusted and not someone who liked to play jokes on people, because I'm easily spooked. If there was someone there that liked to play jokes on people, I feel like they would jump out at you or try and make the whole experience more creepy. So I would like to do a haunted house type thing, or go and stay in a haunted house, but as long as I was doing it with somebody that I knew wasn't gonna jump out at me in the middle of the night or do anything to frighten me on purpose. He was on my team. Ugh, God. This knife is not going in the direction that I want it to. Oh, there's some pumpkin. It was an attempt, okay? If this pumpkin looks awful, an attempt was made. It may not be the best attempt, but there was an attempt. I will take pride in that. It's definitely not as good as my pumpkin Spider-Man. Nowhere near as good as my pumpkin Spider-Man was. But when I did that one, I carved into it with like a little nail tool. Rather than cutting into it, I was like scoring into it. I wasn't really carving it like this. Oh my god, I wonder if I can pop out this way. What just happened to your face, sir? I have no idea where I'm gonna put this either. I feel like I could put it at the front door, maybe. Oh. The things you do to make interesting YouTube content. Go out and buy pumpkins. Did I answer that last question about... Yeah, I did. I said I would like to go to a haunted house, but with someone that I trusted. Are you superstitious? I'm probably more of a skeptic than someone who's superstitious. I love watching, you know, like ghost hunts and people going out and looking for ghosts, seeing them go to haunted places and claim that they've seen ghosts or claim that they've interacted with spirits. But I like to pick holes in it and be like, well, actually that's only working because you've stepped near it, or that's only doing that because there's someone else in the room. Like, I like to pick holes in things like that rather than just believing what I see. So I'm probably more of a skeptic. I've never had an experience with a ghost that's changed my mind from that. So yeah, probably would consider myself more a skeptic. I would believe if I'd had an experience myself where I'd come into contact with like a spirit or a ghost or something, but until I have that experience, I'm going to be a skeptic and I'm not sure that I'm going to believe it. That can is so covered in pumpkin. At least the really strong smell of pumpkin isn't too bad. This truly is a mediocre attempt at carving a pumpkin. If it looks good, I will be impressed with my work and I will take back anything bad I said about my pumpkin. But until that moment, it's really rudimentary and it's not great. I'm gonna have so much pumpkin on this shirt. Do you ever see figures in your peripheral vision? Is that my sleep paralysis demon talking? I've seen figures at night, but I don't necessarily, like right now, I don't see figures or anything in my peripheral vision, and I don't think I ever have done. I might be wrong, but I can't explicitly remember a time when I've seen a figure in my peripheral vision. Oh, I'm gonna cut my arm. There are safer ways to carve pumpkins. This is not one of them. If you came here for a pumpkin tutorial, I am really, oh don't break. I am really sorry, that is not what you're getting. This is not a tutorial. Be careful with knives. Don't do what I'm doing. Which urban legend scares you the most? I don't know if this counts as an urban legend, because I know there was a movie made on it, and I know it's like, I don't know, just like a creepy story, I guess. They're a type of spirit that can move things. I don't really know much about it, but when I was in primary school, did I say I don't know if this counts as like an urban legend? Okay, I already said that. But when I was in primary school, I was at a sleepover with a couple of friends. There was a lot of us there actually. It was maybe like 6 of us, and we decided that it would be a good idea to tell scary stories. And keep in mind, I am still in primary school. Some of these girls were the year older than me, so the oldest I could have been was whatever age you are in P6, which I think is maybe like 9 or 10. Yeah, we decided to tell scary stories. And at this point, I had never really experienced horror. I'd never really experienced any sort of scary movies or anything like that. And everybody was telling their horror stories. Someone told the plot of the movie Poltergeist, but they told it in a very, very convincing way. And after that night, I had nightmares, like full-on proper nightmares about the Poltergeist and the story that was told. If you've seen the movie, you'll know the plot. And it was essentially that plot which they told us their spooky story. And I wasn't able to sleep for weeks because I was convinced that this was real. I was so convinced that this Poltergeist was real and the story had actually happened and it was going to happen to me, and it just completely freaked me out. I wasn't able to sleep for the longest time. It traumatized me as a child. I was traumatized by the Poltergeist movie told through the voice of one of my friends. But yeah, I wasn't able to sleep that night, and then I wasn't able to sleep for a while after because I was just so terrified of it. And every time I fell asleep, I was just having dreams. Well, not really dreams. I was having nightmares about that movie and the story in that movie. We were all kids. I have no idea how these kids knew this, but they did, and they were telling it to us as children, and it freaked me out. I really like true crime now, and listening to true crime podcasts and learning about it. I also love horror movies now. I love sitting and watching them. I don't get too spooked with them. I'm not good with gore. I don't really like gore that much, but I love horror movies and I love spooky movies. I didn't as a child though, as you can tell. But I suppose that built me up. That gave me the confidence to watch horror movies. Little baby child me doesn't appreciate it, but it did me good. Some little girl, like, she was obviously out doing deliveries with her parents. I don't know which parent it was because I didn't see anyone else in the car. But this little girl came to the door to give me a parcel from like Every or something. And I turned up to the door with these contact lenses in, my hair like this, my makeup like this, and just had to kind of be like, thank you. I would say I'm not normally like this, but I am normally like this. This is a normal look for me. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. Yeah. So I just thought that was quite a funny thing to happen. I'm gonna cut into some of this and probably do like a time lapse, and then I will answer some more questions when I'm on to the other half of this now, because this is taking slightly longer than I thought it would. Gore or thrillers? I think I already answered this one earlier on. I'd probably say that I prefer thriller movies because I'm just not very good with gore. It freaks me out too much because I imagine it happening to myself. It's not for me. I don't like blood, I don't like bones snapping or anything like that. Not for me. Do you get scared easily? I do if it's someone like scaring me. Like I don't get that scared of horror movies as such, but like if someone was to scare me or jump out at me, then yeah, I would get scared. You're home alone, but you hear footsteps. What do you do? I am leaving, I'm getting out of there, I'm not staying in the house. Oh man, because I live in the middle of nowhere, if I was to hear footsteps in the house, I would freak the f*** out. I would freak out so bad. I never expect anyone to be here when I'm home alone. I'm not expecting anyone to be back. Even if I hear my door open and it's someone coming home, I kind of freak out a little bit because I'm like, who is that? Who are you? What are you doing in my house? Get out. Shouldn't be here. I'd probably hide, honestly. I think I'd go into like fight or flight mode and I would flight and I would hide somewhere and try and get out of the house so I wasn't in with that person or whoever was creating, whatever was creating those footsteps. I would just try and leave, I think. Honestly, I don't know how I would react. Like, if that sort of thing happened, how would you react? You know, you don't really know how, you could say how you think you would react, but if you were in that situation, your mind would kind of just instinctually do something. And I don't think you really know what it would do until it does it. Yeah, I have no idea how I would actually react, but I feel like I would either try and run or I would try and hide somewhere in the house. I'm almost done. If you could wear one Halloween costume for the rest of your life, what would it be? It would probably be what I went as last year, some form of like goblin, pixie, fairy with wings and a crown, dark makeup. That's probably what I would choose because it's close to how I look every day anyway. So I would probably pick something like that, I think. What are you going to be for Halloween this year? So I haven't fully decided what I'm going to go for as Halloween. Go for Halloween. Oh, I'm confusing myself. I don't know what I'm going to go as yet. I haven't actually decided. I'm going to dress up for the Halloween market that I've got in Glasgow, and I'm also going to dress up for a night out at the end of the month with my friends. And I think there'll be two slightly different variations of the same thing that I went as last year, because I have dark wings, I have a crown, and I have elf ears, so probably what I'm going to go as, because I like dressing as that. And if I can wear that as a normal thing, then I'm going to wear that as a normal thing, and nobody's allowed to judge me for it. So I think I will go as some sort of variation of what I went as last year. I know, inventive. I really put thought into what I'm dressing up as. I could do Beetlejuice. I mean, I've proved to myself that I can do a sort of Beetlejuice look. And this is the last question I have, and that's good timing because I'm pretty much done, so we can see how my pumpkin looks. If you could have a spooky Halloween pet, what would you pick? And I would probably pick to have a black cat or a rat. Does that count as a Halloween-y type pet? A black cat or black cats, definitely. They're very Halloween-y. But rats? Yeah, I'm gonna say they're Halloween-y. So I'd probably pick a black cat or a rat. I really like little rodents, they're cute. I do already have a cat. I have a little ginger cat called Gizmo, and I feel like she wouldn't be too happy to hear me saying that I would like to have a black cat, but black cats are just very cute, aren't they? I'm gonna clean this up, come back, and we'll finish this video. We'll have a wee look at what my pumpkin, we'll have a pumpkin reveal. We will reveal what my pumpkin looks like. And you know what? I don't think it's too bad. It's not the best pumpkin I have ever carved. This was fun. So I'm gonna go get cleaned up, go clean up this, and then I'll be back to end this video and let you see my pumpkin. I was looking everywhere for a candle and I found like a candle in a glass, and I was like, I can't put that inside the pumpkin. So I found a half-used tea light that I'm gonna put in the pumpkin, and hopefully it lights. The wick's a wee bit destroyed. It's lit, so let's pop that inside of my pumpkin. Find how to close it. Okay, are you ready to see? There's still pen on it. I did wash it, but the pen is not coming off of this pumpkin, so you just have to deal with there being pen on the front of the pumpkin. Here is my spooky little pumpkin. That is him. What should I name it? I'll put the crow back on my pumpkin. Pretend that didn't happen. Oh man. I dropped that bird and all of his fluff came off. Sorry, Mr. Crow. Didn't mean to make you shed all your fur. But I hope you like my pumpkin. My little spooky, scary pumpkin. I don't know, I'll come up to the screen. I don't know, or I'll come up to the camera. I don't know how well you can actually see him. that is it for this week's video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. There will be some more spooky content to come this month. I have a couple of other videos planned which I plan on filming and getting out to you before Halloween. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you're going as for Halloween. If you've watched this far into the video, tell me down below what your plans are for Halloween. What are you dressing up as? Are you doing anything like this? Are you carving your own pumpkin? Let me know what you do for Halloween down below. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that is it for this week's video. Me and my pumpkin are off now. But thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next week for another spooky video. Bye!